Greetings, everyone, and thanks for joining us on this paranormal pit stop. Tonight, we'll be exploring a 16th century fortress located right on the border of the Sariska Reserve in the Aravali Hills in the Alwar District of Rajasthan in India, now acting as a popular tourist destination and widely considered one of the most supernaturally charged places in India, if not in the world. Are you prepared to brave the ghosts of Bhangarh Fort? Historically, the Bhangarh Fort was first constructed in 1573 AD under Kashwaha ruler of Amber, Raja Bhagwat Das, for his youngest son Madho Singh, who, upon his father's passing in 1589, would assume control of the estate until his death, after which his son Sharchar Singh would accept the role of Raja. Sadly, following the passing of Sharchar in 1630, their long-standing kingdom would decline rapidly, eventually leading to many of its residents migrating to the Ajabgarh Fort, created by Sharchar's son Ajab. In 1720, Bhangarh Fort was annexed, resulting in more of its ever-dwindling populace moving elsewhere, and in 1783, under struggle of famine, the remainder of the aged community was deserted entirely. Since the 18th century, these prestigious ruins have sat abandoned and have been deemed by local government uninhabitable, leading to speculation regarding some form of curse or hauntings tied to former residents' restless spirits. Today, Bhangarh Fort is recognized as a premier heritage destination and is a popular stop amongst locals to India who are permitted to visit its bounds freely. However, for foreigners wishing to earn a peek, special permissions and passes are required. Over its existence, two popular legends have surrounded this old defense, the most prominent of which tells that the city was constructed under the approval of Guru Balu Nath, an ascetic who had previously taken a liking to meditating on the site, and who warned that if the growing community's palace's shadow should ever fall upon his retreat, that the city would surely slip into ruin. This legend furthers that despite this warning, upon the completion of the surrounding structures, the holy man's beloved retreat was left shadowed, leaving the city cursed, and ensuring that no person would settle within its bounds, that no structure would remain standing. It's said that the tomb of the old guru lies among the ruins, and that his spirit appears frequently to offer guidance to those seeking enlightenment. Nath isn't alone, however, as the city is said to remain host to the countless restless spirits of those who once resided within, and across its expanse many have reported the disembodied smells of ancient perfumes, inexplicable floating lights spied through old structures, extreme cold spots, and unnatural winds that pick up out of nowhere, the feelings of being watched, followed, or even touched or grabbed by presences unseen, and encounters with shadowy figures and full-bodied apparitions spanning the millennia. Strange noises are often picked up from the ruins and from the earth below the old town site. The commotion of bangles breaking and ancient music is commonly heard on the wind, and some tell that any who might brave entering the fort after sunset, during which time its doors are locked and entrance is forbidden, will most certainly never be seen or heard from again. A second notable legend pertaining to Bhangarh Fort tells of Princess Rani Ratnavani, whose beauty was unparalleled among the transcended kingdoms and borders, and whose physical artistry was exceeded only by her wit. When Rani came of age, it said she was approached by a number of hopeful suitors from various states, as well as by the likes of a sorcerer called Singhiya. In comparison to his competitor's youth and charisma, Singhiya knew he hadn't a chance with Rani, and conspired to charm the young princess with his magical abilities. As fate would have it, Singhiya would encounter the princess's mistress at market and would enchant the oil she was purchasing with a dark spell intended to force Rani into an unconditional attraction upon contact with her skin. But Rani, ever alert and cunning well beyond her years, spied the wizard's ploy, accepted the oil, and then poured it instead atop a large boulder, which, under his very own spell, began rolling towards Singhiya. The sorcerer tried desperately to escape, but his magic was too strong, and the large stone, bewitched with the charm of eternal attraction, eventually ran him down, crushing him into the ground. With his dying breath, Singhiya would curse Bhangarh, and as a result, it would never witness a rebirth. This tale furthers to highlight the battle between Ajabgarh and Bhangarh, during which time it's said Princess Ratnavani was killed, leaving her spirit to wander the old city, ironically, possibly trapped alongside the vengeful ghost of the old magician. On a closing note, for any of you daredevils out there, a handful of parties have sneaked into Bhangarh Fort after dark, and while most were so scared by paranormal activity encountered that it's literally sent them running, the action of breaking in alone is also highly illegal, and the area poses very real, physical threats in the form of old wells, tripping hazards, loose rocks, and several areas where one could easily become disoriented or lost. So needless to say, we don't recommend following suit. Thanks for tuning in for this paranormal pit stop. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Good night.